Good afternoon, traders. Welcome to TradeSetup and the afternoon wrap for the 20th of October. We're going to go through obviously the how we played out today on the ASX200, the price action for the day, and just looking ahead where we could be heading tonight and levels to watch out for. We'll also obviously take a look at the Aussie dollar and how that played out in the last couple of days, and looking at spot gold, and we'll take a look at the US, the S&P 500. Okay, over to the ASX 200 30-minute chart here. We can see that price action, we actually broke out of that downtrend, spiked up, hit 54.54, and then just backed off, and we found support at 54.13. From there we just pushed up back in towards that 54.50 zone, and then just backed off into the close overnight. Now this morning we opened up and we spiked through that level quite probably about 5 or 6 points, took out that level and then backed right off, and we found some support at 54.32. Now we went and retested that zone at 54.54, and then just into the close we've just backed off from that level. So bit of a tight range today, not a big day today either way, but the interesting thing is we have washed out that 54.54 level, which is the previous highs, and we have retested it and made that, it's only on the daily basis, it's a minor lower high, and we have been rejecting that by the looks of it. So it'd be interesting to see if we can actually hold that and we can build some higher lows above 54.32, and which will take us back up through 54.60, or at least to retest that zone. Otherwise, if this 54.54 zone, we may need a deeper correction, retest back down to 54.13 or even deeper before we build that longer term higher low, which takes us back up through 54.60. But we'll see how that plays out tonight. Okay, over to the Aussie dollar here. We've discussed this in the last couple of days. We've got what looks like an inverse head and shoulders, with a shoulder here, the head here, and a higher low building the right shoulder there. And we've got that resistance, which was just broken yesterday. We were looking at that yesterday morning, that potential for this contraction here to break out, which it did. It held the lows here at around 76.60, build that base, and then spiked through, I think it was overnight last night, and we did hold above that today, and then it was just overnight last night held above that, and we had some numbers out, employment numbers out on the Aussie, and which just we saw some selling after that taking place. But at the moment it's still looking like it's holding that 76.60. It may just bounce off there, wash out. It is well oversold, which is one thing to take note of. If it does wash out that zone and just bounce back out and build that higher low, we could easily just work our way back up through 76.90 and 77.10, back up towards this highs of 77.50, or that zone up there. But potentially it has got, it could get a lot of legs in it. This excuse me, price structure here is quite good. We do like that. It's got a low here, it's made a lower low, but it's also making a lower high, and we've got that high low built. It's a very strong sign that we can get a big wash out of all these shorts that are built up, but we have to see how that plays out. Okay, taking a look at gold here, we've got a 4-hourly chart of spot gold. We can see some good price action. We've got a base coming off a base down here around 1050. We've pushed up, made highs around that 1283, pull back to test support and build support at 1200. We did push out and take out that 1280 zone only mildly, and then we roll over and come back down to test the 1200, 1205 support, and then that held. And then we had another good leg up towards that 1375 area, and since making those highs we have backed off, making lower highs, and for a while there we were holding up at support at 1305, 1310, and not long ago we actually did roll over straight through 1300 and drop quite hard. Now we are finding support at 1250 or that 1245 support zone in there. Now if we just get in a bit closer, what we could be looking at, this obviously being a longer term higher low at 1200, we could potentially look to be building another higher low at 1250, which would suggest higher prices and taking out, or at least testing towards and through 1375. The price action could be a lot like a mild pop through, like we just did see here in this zone, pop through those highs and then come back and retest. So we don't know what's going to happen if history is something to go by. We'll have to see how that plays out, but it's an important zone here. But problem is we are overbought on the 4-hourly chart, so we could just see, if we can draw it up here, we could just see a bit of backing and fill a bit higher, and then starting to roll over, making lower highs, and that could potentially take us straight through 1350 or just a retest. We'll just have to see how that plays out. Anyway, we'll take a look at the next chart. Okay, looking at the S&P 500, just taking a bigger view. It's just the 1 hourly chart, but we've got quite a bit of price action we're viewing here. We've got the highs up towards that 21.92.93 zone. We've got a lower high around that 21.90, so it's only a few points lower, but then we pretty much failed from there. I think it was over the payrolls numbers like we've discussed. Savage move down, and good reaction back up, and then what we did, we come back down and we've made that high low at around that 21.15 zone, so it was only about 5 points, say 7 points above this low here, and then we worked our way back up, and since then we have made lower highs, and then we've come back down, which is interesting, and we've retested that 21.15, and then we sort of bounced off there, and we've made these high lows just in here around 21.23. Now this potentially, this kind of price action could take us straight up through 21.50. We could be capped again at sort of this resistance area around 21.62. But we'll have to see how that goes. The price action does look quite good. I do like to see these a low, and then over the longer period we've got a high low that's built at 21.15, and it has been rejected. As soon as we got through these type of levels here, we've got an anchor down 21.45, had that projection into the low retest, and then straight back up to wipe out and wash out that level. Okay, what was going to happen from there? If that was weak, we should have seen that roll over and take out these levels here, but we've built a higher low around 21.24. So nice price action. We'll just have to see how that or where that takes us. All right, that's it for today. Thanks for joining us, and we'll speak to you tomorrow. And don't forget, traders, you can go to our YouTube channel to subscribe. Just go to www.youtube.com/c/TradeSetup AU, and you can view all the uploaded videos we've taken so far.